You guys. Alright, so this video is going to be titled Slave Trade Tool Belt Update. I've been doing these slave trade tool belt videos for fun. Because I'm always trying to figure out how can I make my job easier. Okay. Now, some things that I guess I need to disclaimer kind of things I need to mention is, of course, every slave trade job is going to be different. It's going to have a lot, So this belt of mine is catered to my specific job, right? My specific slave labor job. And since all slave labor jobs have differences, and a person in the slave trade could benefit from a slave labor tool belt or not. It depends a lot on the job, of course, but I would guess that a lot of slave labor jobs have a lot of things in common, and so for that reason, it may be worth considering, if you are in the slave labor trade, it might be worth considering doing a belt, okay? And another cool thing about the slave labor trade belt is the belt can also be used in other scenarios, like a survival situation. For example, even like tape. See, my belt has tape. Like if I were to be in a shit hits the fan scenario and I were to have this and just grab and go, or just have it on me in that scenario, tape could definitely, this industrial strength tape could definitely come in handy, right? Or if I had time to adjust the belt, I could throw a roll of duct tape on here in replace of this. But anyway, like there's all kinds of stuff that I could use. Like this is my first aid kit. It's simple, but has basic needs. A flashlight. I've got a rechargeable flashlight in here. Even markers, pens, paper, that stuff can come in handy. Oh, I apologize. I've got a pocket knife, toothbrush. I've got a Leatherman tool, which actually I need to grab that and put it in my belt because I was using it the other day. But anyway, so, and you can throw like this. I'm telling you, this belt is so good. There's a lot of other purposes it can be used for besides like slave labor, Now, here's my Leatherman. And so, anyways, so I was gonna buy a bunch of stuff on Amazon to update my my work belt, but I ended up just finding this stuff kind of randomly. Okay, that's the same shit I'm gonna buy, right? So I made some updates to my belt. For example, like this knife is an update. And I'm going to show you why I put this on my slave labor work belt. This, which I would like to go into why I put this on my slave labor work belt. And what are some other additions I made? This it's kind of like a fanny pack, but it's not puffy and bulky. It just lays flat on the back, which is great. And I actually didn't even have to buy this. I had this and just sitting around in my trailer, and I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna order one of these on Amazon, right? And And then the other addition I made is this. Whoop. This thing here, which is okay. So I want to start like with this because I like this thing is so cool. It did end up costing me like 40 bucks, but it's worth it, dude. Like this thing is actually, the guy I bought it from is brand new. And we were chatting before I made my purchase, and after having our friendly conversation, he decided to give me $10 off of this. Was $50, and he gave me $10 off. Anyways, so I want to show you, kind of go over my belt a little bit more than I have. So I'm actually gonna put it on. So here's the belt, right? This is my Work Smart Not Hard slave labor trade work belt. And if you're in the slave labor trade, it might be worth considering a belt, okay? And you can customize it however whatever is gonna, best suit your needs, okay? Let me show you. Let's see. So this video is I'm not prepared for this video, so it's gonna kind of be a little bit of hit and miss. But I did want to show you some other features of this belt. If I can. I may not be able to. Oh, well, here we go. Okay, so one of the other features, oh, whoops. See how I'm totally unprepared? Okay, one of the other features of this belt are these things. Now I had to make some adjustments using duct tape. So this goes here, okay, on my belt. And I want to show you what it does. So actually, like if you were to pretend that this is a water bottle, I don't have a water bottle handy. What you do is you take this and you put it on your water bottle like this, right? Well, is this gonna work? Yeah, I think so. Maybe not, damn it. I need an actual water bottle is the thing. But anyways, you put your water bottle on this, and then you connect your water bottle to your belt. And in that way, you always have your water on you. So when you're out slaving in the hot sun, you've got water on you, and you can like stop and take a quick drink and then get back to work. So anyways, and I have two of those. This one I don't use, the other it's just there. Now this belt actually looks like it may need a little bit of adjusting, but actually no, it doesn't. Okay, so let's go into this belt. All right, I'm gonna start over here. So in my particular field of work, slave labor, these are the kinds of scenarios that I'll find myself in often. And I want to show you what that scenario. So, okay, so again, I'm not prepared. Okay, so these are basically pallets. Okay, these are all old and dirt. These are gonna get thrown away. But like we'll have a pallet that's packed, that's basically palletized, and they usually average about this high. Okay, and then I need to shrink wrap it really tight with shrink wrap, all the way up, over the top, all around, all the way down, and shrink wrap it actually to the pallet itself, and it has to be very tight. And so with my belt, so that's why I have the tape on me, okay? So I have the tape, okay? Well, let me show you how this works, if I can find it better. All right, first let me show you how my tape thing works, okay? I also want to point out, I'm the only person on the job, on my slave labor job, that has a belt, okay? So let me show you this. Okay, this is my tape thing, and I pretty much invented this myself. So the tape goes on there. So I always have the tape on me. So when it's time to use the tape, it's like a quick release. I just pull it out and there it is. And then when I'm done, I just put it back and there it is. And then, it's not going nowhere. I could walk around, I could run, you know, whatever, that tape ain't going anywhere. And then when I need it, it's quick release and there it is, boom. Okay, you see? Now, again, I'm the only person on my job that has a belt. Okay. And we, like I've said before, we're, dude, I would guess off the top of my head, we're averaging using this tape like once every 20 minutes throughout the day, okay? Now my neighbor's coming, so I don't want to freak him out. What's going on, man? All right. All right. So I was doing this because he was gone. So now I have to adapt and respond accordingly. Okay, so I'm gonna have to try to show you inside. Hold on just a second. Hey, I'm right in the middle of doing a video. What are you doing?
I think I'm staying, buddy. So you're stuck with me all year.
Right here in the fifth wheel?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about that?
They want $400 a month.
Well, what about that? You think that the chick's gonna want to use that?
What's that?
The trailer.
If she does, I'll bring it back.
Just
over.
bring it back. Okay. Yeah, that
figure
makes
that
sense.
out.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
I was like, I'm just gonna put it over there for now.
Well, I'll check in with you in a little bit. I'm trying to. Hey, are you gonna do some videos? Remember you were talking about your video project?
I am. I got a couple of scripts written this morning.
Dude, I'm stoked.
And yeah.
If
I
you
would like to.
if you need my help or want my help, I'm totally down.
You're in still?
Of course.
You know what though?
Huh?
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
The video, talk to me later.
Okay.
If you're in the middle of something. Then
Yeah, I'm doing this video right now,
yeah.
but I'll
give
hit
me
you
a
up in a
shout
little bit. Yeah, I'll hit you up in a little bit. All right, man. Okay, so, anyways, that's my buddy. Fucking, he's a cool ass dude. He's my coworker actually, and he doesn't do the belt. I'm the only one on the job that does the belt. Okay, so anyways, so I don't really want to freak him out too much with my video, so I'm gonna continue it in here. All right, so like I said, let me try to get a better angle so you can see the belt. All right, so like I said though, I mean, so my tape's right here, and I can run and like when I need it, it's ready to go. Okay, and it's just there it is, and then boom, I'm taping, right? Okay, and then it's there, and I can, you know, it ain't going nowhere. I have not had a roll of tape just fall off. So anyways, and the other thing, so I carry my box cutter here, okay? So this is, I always carry this. This is an everyday carry, whether I'm at work or not. I love this thing, okay? Anyways, all right, so let me go into like these updates I made on this belt. It's a little loose right now because I'm not wearing my my belt that holds my pants up. When I have my belt that holds my pants up, this belt actually like fits. It's not loose. It stays like totally good. But anyway, so okay, so back to the tape dispenser thing, right? Okay, so when we're working, we're using this tape all the time. Okay. And a lot of times when we're working, we are, we're like fucking like 20 or 30 yards away from the tape. That's why I carry tape on me. Because a lot of times shit needs to get taped and we're like 20, 30 yards from where all the tape is. So if I'm not there with the tape on me, and something needs to get done, well, then you got like 2 or 3 guys that are like, where's the tape? Anybody have any tape? And it's like there might be tape and there might not. But a lot of times there isn't. Or the tape, nobody knows. They had it and it was sitting somewhere, but now they don't know where. And then they got to walk 20, 30 yards to get the tape and then come back. Okay, that's why I always have it on me, dude. That's what one of the many purposes of the belt is because I'm not wasting no fucking time. Like I'm ready to go. Boom. You know, I got the tape here. It's quick release, ready to go. Okay. So going back to that big pallet, you know, the tall pallet. a lot of times we're like shrink wrapping pallets. Okay. And then once we're done shrink wrapping them, they need to get taped. Like the shrink wrap needs to get taped so that it doesn't blow off, because a lot of times we're in like weather conditions where there's a lot of wind and stuff. Excuse me, there's a lot of wind and stuff. And so the shrink wrap has to stay on. And so once I'm done shrink wrapping the pallet, then I pull it, I quick release the tape, and then I pull the tape, and then I bring it up. I end up having to use about this much, okay? So, yeah, it sucks that I don't have that as a example. Okay, but let's say this is the pallet, right? Let's say this is it, and I got the tape on there. I got the tape on. Well, now I need to cut the tape. And this is industrial strength tape, right? And so what I do, and because I'm all about speed, like everything is about speed with me. Like it's what makes the job fun, is how fast can I do this shit? And so I'm always like working on my speed. So what I do is I have to go to my pocket and get my box cutter and then poke the tape and it'll break. But the thing is with the box cutter, a lot of times it's really like challenging to get to. Like I have to like move my hand around my belt, and I'm having all this trouble trying to get my box cutter. So instead I got this so that I have easy access to it, like easier access than I do my box cutter. So my box cutter works great for a lot of things, but as far as like speed, like having to get easy access to my box cutter, it's not very effective. So I got the switchblade, and then that's just like, so there it is. Okay. So that's what the switchblade is for. So once the taping is done, then I just grab the box cutter really easily and poke it and then put it back, and it goes back where it goes, and that's it. Okay. Whereas, because I've been doing it, I've been using this belt for about a year. And one of the challenges is accessing my box cutter quickly, because I'm all about speed. Okay. So, but with this, it's way easier. It's ready to go, and then that's it. And so when I'm palletizing, and I have to get the tape, and I got the tape, and then I get it taped, and then I'm ready to cut it, like, it's easy, dude. It's like nothing with this, because it's easily accessible. It goes right there on my belt, as opposed to in my pocket. But otherwise, the pocket is the best place for my box cutter. And so I'll use my box cutter a lot. But if I need quick access for something like tape, for something like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like for something like that, where I finish palletizing a pallet and shrink wrapping it, and then I have to put the tape on, and I need quick access to this, is way better. Like it's right here, it's ready to go. So once I'm at this part, then I just pull this out, bam, boom, and that's it. And then I'm gone. That's it, right? Whereas, because, you know, like I said, the way the belt system works, even though it works really well, one of the downsides is when I'm in that scenario with the tape and I go to grab my box cutter, a lot of times it's like I'm having to, like, it'll be like this, and I'm like struggling to get it. And I'm all about speed. Everything is about speed. Also because that's what makes the job funner for me. You know, it's like, let's see how fast I can do this fucking shit, right? And so anyways, then the tape goes back there, right? But anyways, yeah, so this works great. It's just like ready to go, dude. It's like nothing. It goes there, that's it. Boom, bing, bang, boom, bada bing, bada boom. That's it. And then it's back, and that's it. So I'm going to have to get used to it a little bit, because this is a new feature for my belt. So, but I can already tell it's going to be a lot better. You know, it's going to be a lot better. It's going to take a little time to you know, get, you know, expert fucking levels of access where it's just going to become second nature, you know. to grab this fucker. And it's mostly in those kind of situations, like when I'm palletizing. But I don't know, because it might be other things. So let me, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, here's another scenario. See, because this is a new addition to my belt, it's going to be kind of like, well, I'm going to be looking for all the advantages that this switchblade is going to have on the job. So I won't know for sure until I'm actually, but like I said, doing the example with the tape, it's obvious, like this switchblade is going to work so much better than trying to grab my box cutter. So, okay. Another common scenario on the job is taping boxes. So we'll have to pack this box with a bunch of shit, okay? Then we gotta fucking close the box up, and then we gotta tape it. So I got my tape ready to go. Boom. Okay, I'm gonna tape this box, right? Okay, I'm gonna tape this box up, right? So let's see if I can get the camera at the proper angle. Okay, there's the box. So I gotta tape this box, right? So I'm gonna go like this, I'm gonna go like this, right there, and then now I need to cut the tape. Well, there it is, boom, right? So yeah, so I'm gonna be using this. I'm gonna be using this a lot. Like, see, as opposed to if I tape it, and then I gotta grab my box cutter. Now, a lot of times I can't grab the box cutter that quick because of the different barriers. That's why I got this. But anyway, so I do that. Then I got to come over here and do this, right? And then there, I still have it in my hand. So perfect. I still have it in my hand. Okay, boom. Okay, boom, boom, bada bing, bada boom. And then this goes back here, right? And again, we're doing this shit like all day. And a lot of times when we're packing these boxes, we're going to be 20, 30 yards from where the tape is and where the tools are and this and that. That's why I use this belt. Is because, first of all, I don't want to have to walk 20, 30 yards to grab a tool. When I could, like, my job is much more easy if I can eliminate the amount of times I have to walk 10 to 30 yards just to grab a tape or a fucking knife or a box cutter or a measuring tape, you know, or a marker, you know, or anything. Paper, a pad of paper, a pen, you know, a saw. If I need a saw. Well, I got the Leatherman. There's a saw in this. You know, I need a drink of water. Well, I got my fucking thing that holds a bottle of water. I don't want to have to walk 20 to 30 yards every time I need a roll of tape, a drink of water, to have to label a box. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, and this is constant all day, where we are in these scenarios where we need to have tape to tape a box. We need to have a marker to label the box. Once we fucking packed it and taped it, then we label it. And I'm telling you, I'm the only one on the job that has this shit, that does this. And I'm not saying this to like say that I'm better than anybody or anything like that. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, right? But like, I'm not Mr. Muscles, where I have no problem walking 30 yards every time I need a roll of tape. So it's no big deal. I'm just gonna, you know, walk or run to go grab it because I'm a big, strong guy. No, I'm not. No. Homie, don't play that. Like, Work smart, not hard. So anyways, yeah. Okay. So now, because accessing the box cutter my inability to quickly access my box cutter in all these different situations, because this has become a kind of an issue that is annoying me, because I'm all about speed. I'm like, boom, I want to get it done and move on to the next. And because my box cutter, accessing it has become kind of slowing me down. That's why, for example, I got this. So I have quick, easy access to cut tape and shit like this. And so that's also why I added this though. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep this or not. I'll point the camera down. I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep this or not. This might end up just being, redundancy. I honestly don't know. So I'm going to have both of them on me when I start the next job. I'm going to have both these new additions to my belt. And to see. Because like I could be taping a box and it might be easier to just grab this. See how easy it is to grab that though, in comparison to having to go to my pocket and pull out the box cutter and then open the box cutter. You see that? Look at the difference in time. Like I gotta grab it from my pocket, and a lot of times my belt is in the way. Like this thing might be in the way. And so I gotta put my hand around and work my hand to get to the box cutter. Then once I get it, I still have to open the box cutter. You see that? Whereas, okay, so there's that, and then there's this where I just grab this and go. Like I don't have to like look at the difference. Once I get the box cutter, then I have to open it, right? I have to open it. Okay, look at the difference between that and just, there it is, So, and it's the same concept with the other knife. It's the same concept with the other. I can either grab my box cutter and then open it like that, right? Or put the box cutter back. Or I just grab that and it's already ready to go. Like, and then I put it back and it's done. Like, it's just that easy. And this might end up being quicker than going for the switchblade. But the switchblade is definitely funner, is more fun. But this, so, I might end up using this. It's weird too because, okay, like going back to the tape. This is a 30-minute video. This is funny. Going back to the tape. Okay, so see, I'm actually doing this. I'm actually going through this in real time because, okay, so I have the tape and I get it taped. Okay, so we'll go back here because I'm doing this for me too. I'm trying to think this through. So I have the tape. I got the tape. I tape it. Okay, yes. So the tape stays in my left hand, and then I cut it. Okay. Yes. See, the tape always stays in my left hand though. Once I'm done taping, like the pallet, for example, the palletized pallet. Once I'm done taping, it stays in my left hand, frees up my right hand to grab this and that, and then the knife goes back, and it's moving on. The same, or the other option, which is the switchblade. Tape. Okay, once the tape, my left hand holds the tape, my right hand's free. I grab the switchblade, it's on, and I go. But now let's compare that with the box cutter. Okay, I got the tape, I tape it, I grab for the box cutter. See, I'm already having trouble. Now I still have to open the box cutter and then go. See the difference? So that's an upgrade. These are the upgrades to my belt. But you see, I have to get used to the switchblade. I have to familiarize myself with the switchblade and where it goes. So it goes there, grab it, boom, and put it back, move on, right? Or this is actually the main work, but not see. So I have to do something about that. But anyways. So this might be the better alternative. I don't know. Okay, so we'll put the tape back. So then the tape, when we're done with the tape, it goes back here, right? Put it back on the fucking thing. There you go. Okay. Now, this pocket right here, show you. This pocket right here. Let's go over that. Let's talk about that in regards to the slave labor belt. Let me get this box out of the way. Okay, so going back to the slave labor, the slave labor trade tool belt. Okay, let me position the camera again. I think that'll work. Will that work? No, hold on a second. The slave labor trade tool belt update, upgrade, whatever you know. What's going on? All right. There, that'll hold it. Okay. So this is just a little pocket, right? Now, this is a particular secret with my slave labor trade job that might apply to other people in similar slave labor trade. So I'm out of town a lot on the job. And when I'm out of town on the job, the boss puts us up in hotels and motels. Okay. The problem with a motel or a hotel is now you have a room key that you need to, that's just one more thing about the job. Like you need to make sure you have the room key. And you might think that, that you wouldn't have a problem with you wouldn't lose your room key. And I'm telling you, when you're on a slave labor job where it's like constant, highly demanding physical labor job and high stress, high physical demand, all this stuff, like having to keep track of a room key is just one more thing that you don't want to deal with. And not only that, motels and hotels oftentimes will have glitchy issues with room keys, which means then you have to start juggling even more issues. Like, oh, the room key isn't working. Okay, well, here's another one. Now you have 2 room keys. And I've been on jobs where like every day the fucking room key was having a fucking problem. And so like every day or every other day, I'm having to go back to the fucking thing and be like, dude, my room key's not working. And then they'd have to do another one, go through this process. And as a result of that, it started getting really confusing. It was like this room key issue with this hotel was like causing me a lot of like distraction, mental distraction, because I'm on like this high stress job. I don't have time to be fucking around with a fucking room key every day because the motel has a room key issue going on of their own. And so then I started like losing my key all the time because I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter anyways. Half the time my key doesn't fucking work. So I'm just like, forget the key. I got to go to work. Fuck this. And then I start losing the key because I'm always having issues with it anyways. So that's what this is for, dude. One of the things it's for. My room key has a home. It always goes in here. Then I don't ever have to think about it. It's like, fuck you. I don't have to think about it. If I have a home where the motel key always goes, then I don't have to think about it. But if it's like sometimes I put it in this pocket, sometimes I put it in a different pocket, depending on what I'm wearing, depending on what job, depending on which motel. Like, no, you need to have one specific spot where your room key always goes, no matter which hotel or motel you're in, no matter which job in whatever city you're in. No, it always goes in one place, and that's it. That way you never have to think about it, and you always know where it is. Rather than sometimes you put it in your pocket here, sometimes it's in your wallet, sometimes it's in your other pocket. And you don't want to put room keys in your wallet, because if you have other shit in your fucking wallet that'll demagnetize that key, then the key won't work. And you don't have time for your key to not work, because that means then you have to go into the elevator that half-ass works and go down 7 or 8 floors down to the thing, and then walk up to the thing and then tell them that your key doesn't work. And then they're a lot of, you know how these people are, a lot of times they're stoned and hungover, and so they're fucking like, oh well, and then it's like this thing turns into a fucking 30-minute thing, and you just want to rest because you've been working 17 hours. You don't want to deal with this key bullshit. So it's not a good idea to keep your key in your pocket, in your wallet, or even in your pocket with your fucking pocket knife and your fucking box cutter. Things like that will demagnetize the key. So this is like where the key always goes. My tool belt is always on me. Like when the job is done for the day, I have my belt on, I go back to my room, and I know exactly where my key is every time, always. It's not going to get demagnetized because it's in my pocket with change and a pocket knife and a box cutter and a credit card, or all this shit. No. So anyways, so this is an addition, a necessary addition to the tool belt. Okay. And then this thing, like I said, I was going to order one of these, something similar to this, on Amazon, and it was going to end up being like $12 or something. And but then I realized, dude, I have one. Why? What am I doing? I probably have 2 or 3 more of these somewhere. So this is the other edition, and this is just like the things about this. Okay, this is flat. When there isn't stuff in it, it's like as thin as a piece of cardboard, as opposed to like a fanny pack is all puffy and shit. I don't want that puffy shit on my fucking tool belt, right? And then you know, for this, like, you could put all kinds of necessary shit in here. So let's go through it, okay? Like, I just threw some shit in here. Like, these were some zip ties that have just been floating around from the last job, okay? This is actually for my wrist. This is a copper infused thing for my wrist, because when we're lifting heavy shit and all this stuff and using our wrists all day, like, so I got this and I like it. It's great, right? So that's in there. Gum. Always need gum, especially if you're a smoker. If you smoke cigarettes and then you have to interact with customers and shit, you always have gum. It's just a necessity, bro. It's like, that's it, especially if you're a cigarette smoker. Here's blades for one of my knives that I'm going to be replacing, because this is just some cheap, you know, hyper tough brand bullshit. So I'll be getting rid of that eventually. Wow, here's $1, huh? Okay. What else is in? Oh, another marker. You can never have too many markers on this slave labor job. I'm telling you. Another marker. Good. And what's this? These are razor blades for my box cutter. You know, and that's about it. These are antihistamine tablets, because I got bit by fucking fire ants. Like fucking probably over 100 bites from fire ants. So I had to get antihistamine, all kinds of shit. Hydrocortisone, all these different, you know, aloe vera and antihistamine. Or I don't know, maybe these are hydrocortisone. Whatever the case. I had to buy all kinds of medicine because I got bit like 100 times by fucking fire ants and shit. So those are the medicine I have left over. But anyways, so that's what this pouch is for. It's just kind of like a catch-all for shit that I need, you know, for shit that I need, you know, and it's great, you know. I'll be putting some other stuff in here. But I'm glad. See, these are very easy to lose. Like something like this is very easy to lose. This is for my wrist, the copper infused, you know, a wrist brace. These are easy to lose. But if you have a pouch, man, there it is. It ain't going nowhere. You're good. You know, gum the same. Like always gum, especially if you're a cigarette smoker. So those are the additions. And so I might end up getting like maybe 1 or 2 other things. Yeah, I'm going to get a tactical pen that's going to go in here with this. I'm going to get a blade like this one, only it's fucking like a 5-star version of this, you know, like that's gotten many reviews and is a 5-star version of this that costs maybe $15, but it's not made out of cheap plastic and shit. So I'm going to be ordering that probably off of Amazon. So I'll be getting rid of this and replacing it with that. And maybe 1 or 2 other items, but outside of that, like this is the belt is becoming more complete. And it works so good, dude. So like I was saying earlier in the video, if you have a slave labor job, there might be a lot of differences with yours and mine. But if there are also a lot of similarities, you may want to consider doing a belt, because this has saved me so much unnecessary work. Just like I'm explaining, like if I need a fucking measuring tape, I got it on me, dude. And this belt is not intrusive. I can walk. I mean, like this thing has never gotten in my way for the most part. It's never been an issue in that sense, because it's not really a lot of shit, dude. It really isn't a lot of shit. It's just what I need. Just only the things that I need. Like, I'm not like carrying these big bags with all this stuff. You know, like you look at this bag. This is just a small pouch, but it's got my first aid, my measuring tape, markers, my switchblade, you know, utility knife, other utility knives, a pocket knife. Like this is super small. This is just for basic shit like motel keys. You know, the most intrusive thing is the tape. But even with this bulky tape sticking out, I've never had any problems. I've never bumped into anybody. I've never bumped into any shit on the counter where it knocked over, nothing. This is, you know, is another pouch. I'll find a use for that. I mean, my cell phone could go in there, but I don't even like carrying my cell phone. This is another pouch, a small pouch. Right now I've got a toothbrush in it, a traveling toothbrush, which you should always have on you at all times. More gum, which is, again, something you should always have on you at all times. And a packet of, what do you call that? What do you call that shit? Electrolyte powder. One packet of electrolyte powder. You know, I mean, this is just necessary shit that is just part. And then this, like I said, this isn't very puffy and bulky. And then my awesome Leatherman. This Leatherman, by the way, is sick as fuck. This is like the best Leatherman they've ever made, dude. This thing is so fucking sick. And then my water bottle dispenser things that I carry my water bottles on, you know. Need water. There's that knife that I'm going to be trying to see if this is going to work. But yeah, that's it. But again, like if you are in a kind of a physically demanding, high stress slave labor job, even though there might be a lot of differences with yours and mine, if there are a lot of similarities, you might want to consider doing this. Because it has made the job so much more easy and effective for me. And I'll end with it. Like, one of the jokes about being in slave labor that's funny is that the slave owner is constantly putting unreasonable expectations on you. And the joke is the more you meet those unreasonable expectations, the more the slave owner looks stupid. And so that's one of the entertaining things about working in slave labor is like being able to meet the boss's what did I just say? Unreasonable expectations that are constant, being able to meet them. All it does is it makes it so hilarious, because the boss, the thing is, like, the boss will never acknowledge it. They'll just be like, whatever. Like nothing pleases the boss. It doesn't matter. They could give you the most impossible task and you could achieve it like quickly and efficiently, even though it's like impossible. And they'll not be impressed at all. They'll be sending you immediately to another impossible task. Okay, now do this one. And so the more you can accomplish these impossible tasks that are put on you, the more hilarious it is, because like what you're showing is you're showing that the boss is just kind of a dumb fuck, dude. Like, it's like, okay, all right. It's like, at what point are you going to acknowledge that I'm like fucking, I deserve a raise and shit? And that's what makes it super funny to work in a slave labor field is being efficient in all these impossible tasks. And the more efficient you are, the more hilarious it is, and the more poorly it reflects on the boss. It really does. And I'm not doing it in a malicious way, but it's just like, it's just part of, it's like, dude, you're asking me to do all this impossible shit. I've been doing this shit, dude. I've been meeting all your unreasonable expectations for a year now. Like, are you ever going to acknowledge that, like, I'm doing a decent job? No. You're just going to be unsatisfied that I didn't, and demand that I move on to the next impossible. And that's what makes it super funny and fun. And so having one of these really helps make the job more fun, So anyways, that's it. All right, later, dudes.